That's what it is. Ooh. Swagger, the $200 carbon fiber 17-pound electric scooter that goes 15 miles per hour. This is a pretty good bike. I'm gonna say that. I unboxed it last week, or actually 2 weeks ago. I finally had time to make this video after taking it out for a couple of weeks to ride it during lunchtime at Long Beach. But yeah, it's neat, interesting to display. I have the display there, so because I was looking at the voltage. The first time I basically, when I was testing this thing out, and I took a fall, was because I was looking at the voltage too much and this little display. But after a while, you basically run it. The what you probably want to wonder is what's a good thing about this scooter. One, it's basically has a pretty okay range. The range is actually 5 miles actual on flat land. Depends on your weight, terrain, all that fun stuff. Overall, it looks really sleek. The design's really cool. It has a 250 watt motor in the front and a kickstand on the bottom, which works, but it looks kind of flimsy. Overall, the whole thing is carbon fiber and it looks sleek. Really, I think as an adult, I could just easily stand on that thing. The stem has all the batteries, and it has two triggers. One's a brake, which is an electronic brake that brakes the front wheel, and the other brake is you stand on, and the other trigger is a throttle. So it's either, the brake doesn't modulate very well, so once you hit it, it abruptly stops pretty quickly. On different surfaces, such as this boardwalk material, it is bumpy as heck. Because the shocks, even though they're there, it doesn't absorb all of it, and you can feel most of it. When you have the brakes on, it has a lot of forward thrust, as well as a this one at least, my copy, actually had a very loose stem. So the stem has a lot of play. So when you hit the brakes and move it, there's a lot of play in the stem. To me, I don't think that's kind of scary. Yeah, it's kind of sketchy too. What I did was that after I unpacked it, I tightened most stuff. I saw that there was a screw that was a little loose. I tightened everything. There was also a little bit. Whoever packed it didn't do a QC or a quality check on it because it was missing some tools, and that was said it was included. In terms of terrain driving, now that we have this, basically on flat terrain and pavement, it's great. On a little bit smoother material, it's a little kind of scary because of the hard rubber. But you feel everything on this scooter. On these parallel tiles and stone, you have to be a little careful. Just drive a little slower and just be a little careful of your balance, because I'm afraid those tires. And definitely wear a helmet. It's probably a good idea. The first time I took the fall, I'm glad I had a helmet on. Because I haven't rode a scooter in a while. All I did was my push scooters, and since this is a 15 miles per hour scooter that accelerates pretty okay quick, it takes about a few seconds to go to 15 miles per hour. It's still faster than my Razor that I had, my foot scooter that I had. On bricks, it actually works. It still feels really bumpy, but yeah, it doesn't matter. It's like you kind of just go with the flow with it. But on asphalt, it's really smooth. As long as there's no bumps and stuff, the thing rides really well. The frame actually absorbs a lot of the shock as well, but overall it is kind of bumpy, and you have to really be careful of the brakes. I would suggest using both brakes, the rear brake and the front brake, just so that you have a better balance of it, and to shift your weight back so that you're ready, instead of pushing yourself forward, and it's just like a motorcycle, it's go forward. Speed bumps, it works, it could do it. Metal grates, it could do it. Just be careful of anything that might make your little tire get caught on the floor. That's could be a surefire way to basically fall. But yeah, it goes through speed bumps pretty well. Here I'm just taking it over to the marina and stuff, and this is typically what I do during my lunchtime, because I've had an hour and I figure I want to get some fresh air and just glide around. I usually take my folding bike though, and this is the first time using a scooter. And for $299, it's actually pretty fun to use. And if you just want to, basically scoot to about 2.5 miles, 3 miles away, and then come back, I think this is perfect, because on flat, like I said before, it gets a good 5 to 10 miles on the flat land. And this is like the 4th time I did this. it's pretty consistent at about 10 miles roughly on flat. But if you're going on any incline of like 10% or like a lot of driveways, and even up the hill where I live, basically it's not gonna do it. It's gonna just wind down to about 9 miles per hour, and it's gonna drain your battery like crazy. On my first try at my home, basically it ate up about, well, it barely did about I think 5 miles round trip total range because of all that stuff. On asphalt and sand, this is a little tricky too. Well, if it's like old asphalt, it has some texture to it. It's a little easier to ride. It is still very bumpy and still kind of slippery with the sand, and I would probably not want to do too much of this, but as long as it's relatively stable, it's fine. But yeah, this is the whole point, is to basically get you to somewhere else without having to walk, and you're doing like what, 2 or 3 times the speed of walk, the 3 mile per hour walking or running, and it's just really convenient. And this is the whole point. And work close to the beach or something, you want to just go towards the beach or go to a snack shop, this is the perfect tool to do it. In terms of, they say that you got the lithium ion batteries could be like TSA ready and stuff, then you could ship it, but I really don't care about that. Anyways, this is it. Basically, that's what I see at my lunchtime and before I go back to work. But that's the whole point, to get someone to here and then come back. Afterwards, basically, you just pack it up and fold it and throw it in the trunk. That's what I do. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate you guys watching my channel. It gives me motivation to make more videos. Yeah, please like, subscribe, click on notifications, and all the fun stuff. Again, this is the Swagtron scooter, electric scooter, and it fits into my Chevy Volt. As soon as I screw off that handle, then it works pretty well. Anyways, guys, got the other fun videos and for tips and tricks and other fun stuff. But yeah, thank you again. See you next time. Bye bye.